Hi, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to a very special edition of Sipping Off the Cuff, the 2024 edition of Sipping Off the Cuff. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Eric Zandona in the Florida Emerald Coast.
oh, the Emerald Coast. Hey, I like what you did with your background. That's a nice Zoom background.
This is the rear wall of my office.
Yeah, and
So
you painted it too. You did
yeah,
some restyling there. It looks good.
yeah. So it started doing some other video stuff. So it's like, oh, you got to make it look nice. So
That's a good idea. I have no room to make anything look nice. So it's like this is the same. I have two walls in this office. One is the consulting wall, and then this
yeah,
is this is the sipping off the cuff wall.
yeah,
Um, Today, folks, we have an interesting tequila that I guess we can call it a tequila. It's called Punta Santos. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
I know. And as usual, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at Eric. Okay.
yeah,
I'll show you how it came to me. It came in a box. I don't know if you can
yeah.
see, folks, that. Eric's got the bottle. It's actually it looks like a lab beaker,
Yes, it
doesn't
does
it?
look like a lab beaker. Yeah.
There,
It's
there was
got a green color on the inside of the band. So it makes
okay.
the glass kind of look green, but the glass is clear. So, but the band inside band is green. So it adds a nice fun character to it. Got this lab beaker kind of essence style
There
to
was
it.
there was one other one years ago that I did when I was still living in New Mexico, and it had this like a lab beaker shape to it.
Yeah.
And it was actually a very good tequila. I forget what the name of it is offhand, but um, oh, wouldn't you know? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. It's perforated. I hate it when the plastic is not perforated because then I got to
Yeah.
stop recording and then I got to take out a knife, and 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 just pop it open. But as you can see, we're breaking the seal, and I think
Yep.
Eric, you just took yours out of a box. That was it, right?
Yeah. Yep. Took it out of the box, took the plastic seal off. So,
Oh, hey. Now, to read the label for everybody. Why did we make a
so
face when we said it's kind of a tequila, but not really?
yeah. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see it well on my camera, but it says Punta Santos Liqueur, made with tequila blanco, 100% agave, 28% alcohol by volume.
So it's a
So,
liqueur at 28. That's kind of high for a liqueur, isn't it?
no, liqueurs can be pretty high. Liqueurs depend on how much sugar they have in them, but the thing about liqueurs is that you can go lower in proof than like regular spirits.
Right.
And so here's the thing. So I did the reading I did in advance for this is a lot of their marketing is about like healthy lifestyle stuff and like low calories, I believe.
I like those air quotes when you do that.
Well, it's like what's a healthy lifestyle, right? For one person is
Right.
not for another, right? So especially around alcohol. So anyway, so
Let's talk to the World Health Organization. They're always trying to screw it.
right, yeah,
Yeah, right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're buzzkills.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I thought I was the
but
only one that thought. Folks, we'll get to that eventually. You'll understand what we're talking about. But
yeah,
Eric and I we're like nerds. So
yeah. So the best I could really piece together was um because some of their marketing also seemed to indicate that there was no sugar. I might be wrong on that, but I that's the sense that I got. So the thing that my guess is that they wanted a low ABV tequila, but once you go below 40% alcohol, you can't call it tequila anymore. It goes into the specialty category. So my guess is that the only way that they could get the proof that they wanted on this was to basically drop it out of tequila and classify it as a liqueur, even if there's not really any sugar or maybe minimal sugar, if anything. But we'll see when we taste it, what it
well,
tastes
now
like.
did
But
they?
that's my guess, is that they were trying to reduce the calorie count for the spirit by reducing the alcohol content. So
Well, I know their box, the information on the side of their box
Yeah.
is saying things about, our harvest allows for a sustainable process, respects fair trade for local farmers. Now, fair trade has its own seal of authenticity. This one does not have it. So whether
No.
there's what does that mean, right? It's just all
Right.
nebulous, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
It's in line with that healthy lifestyle marketing that's
Yeah.
going on now, right?
Yeah.
When distilling agave, we obtain different alcohols and we identify in the heads, hearts, and tails. Heads and tails strongest due to toxicity. We decided to take out those parts and only use the heart.
Such a novel idea.
I
They
know.
take out the tails and then
I
I
wish everyone.
know.
I wish everyone would do that, right? How come nobody else does that? Right?
Here I was drinking all these toxins.
I know. Well, all that stuff you have on your shelf, toss it. Just get rid of it. They're all
Yeah.
doing it wrong.
Yeah.
We decided to take out those parts and only use the heart to work the smoothest part of the distilling process. So, this bottle is full of heart and passion for crafting the smoothest tequila liqueur. There's always a method to that madness, right?
Yeah.
There's always a here. This is why we did this because it's a great ending for this paragraph.
Yeah.
Um, Calories 77. This is a serving facts. Per 1.5 ounce serving, no fat, no protein.
Yeah.
Geez, and that's known 14.99 is where it's coming from. So
So so you're like average 40% ABV, say vodka or whiskey or tequila, excuse me, tequila will have about 100 and something calories for that, say for 1.5 ounces. So
right.
that's why I suspect that they cut the proof to what it is because they wanted to be below what the kind of standard rate is. But that so because of that, I think that's why it's in this weird category. But
Well, I think again, it's brilliant marketing. I know we're going on and
yeah,
on, folks. We really should just pour
yeah,
it and taste it. But
yeah,
but when we talk about marketing like this, it's something that we really need to dissect as well, because what you see on here is marketing. It's informational. I mean, they go with 77 calories per 1.5 ounce, you are in charge. Okay, hey, like
yeah,
I'm in charge of my own,
yeah,
healthy lifestyle, right?
yeah. And
Small.
there's definitely a market for this. I
Oh
will
yeah.
see what it tastes like. But like years ago, a gin, Heyman's gin came out with this like it was a regular strength gin, but the botanical concentration was like super intense. And the idea was is that you would with a thimbleful of the gin, you could mix it into a regular gin and tonic. So it would be like virtually like 1% alcohol, but it would have the botanical intensity to make a proper gin and tonic. So companies do this sort of thing. So I'm really interested to try it. It's beautiful packaging. So
Yeah, the
we'll
packaging is
see.
good, it's a substantial bottle. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice. I'm not going to say it, everything so far, and it
Yeah.
smells good too when we pop the cork. So,
Yeah. Yeah. All
so
right.
here
Should
we
we
go.
pour it?
I'm going to pour mine in my Stasso Jarrito,
Yeah.
made for tequila. And if you're watching us on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, Eric is using his Glencairn.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna and I want to thank these folks for making it happen. I know they've been waiting a long time for us to get to that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
2023 was a year of transition for Tequila Aficionado, because
Mhm.
this year in July we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary. So here we go. So what are we getting on the nose, Eric? You tell me.
I mean, it smells like tequila. I mean, this is one of the really, I think, right off the bat, I'm impressed because I've definitely had 40% alcohol tequilas that smell less intense than this.
Yes,
So it's got that like lime leaf. It's got like the kind of more fresh, a little bit of fresh cut glass,
glass, fresh cut
yeah,
glass.
fresh cut
Are you just come
grass.
back
There
from
we go.
prison?
No,
I know.
there's a little bit of like, yeah, citrus peel. It's nice. It smells
It's
nice.
very light. It smells
Yeah.
very Highlands,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
not a ton of complexity, but what's there is really nice.
Yeah, it's very pleasant, and I noticed that right off the bat when I popped the cork. You saw
Yeah.
me break the seal. It's been
Yeah.
sitting on my living room floor for like months. Sorry guys, but we're getting
Yeah.
back to it. Thank God. So here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I think you hit everything, and of course there's plenty of agave there, and that was the first thing that
Yeah.
got. And now that
Yeah.
it's opening up, you get all the elements that Eric mentioned. So,
Yeah.
and I think we should just dive in and see because there's not a
Yeah.
whole. By the
Stacy.
way, not a whole lot of alcohol. Very just enough in the center.
Right.
That's it,
Right.
right?
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
well here we go. I've got a few of those to do, so I've,
Yeah.
I've got to, I got to spit it out. Sorry, folks. This
That's
bucket
that's
is
fine.
your friend.
That's a sign of a true professional.
Thank you. Actually, a sign of a true professional is somebody who can hold his liquor. That's
That's not
true
always
too, but
true.
not
That's
always
always
true. Well,
not always true.
you've been a judge more often than I have, and you judge everything. You've got a much wider
Yeah.
palette than I do, so you can't, you know,
Yeah. When I'm doing a full day of judging, I spit everything out
yeah,
because
everything goes out. Yeah.
by the end of the day, you'd just be trashed.
Yeah.
Um, so the initial flavor I like, and then it takes a turn. And I wonder the finish doesn't sit well with me. It kind of take like I don't know what they're doing, but it almost seems like a fake sugar, like a calorie-free kind of sweetener
it's,
on the back end.
so it tastes like Splenda. Is that what you're
Maybe, I
saying?
mean, I don't drink like, sugar-free drinks very often.
But
So,
you don't put
but
sugar
it's
in your coffee or anything either, right?
no, I don't put sugar in my coffee.
Yeah.
And I don't
We've
drink
been coffee
sodas
drinking
and
together, folks. I've seen Eric drink coffee.
yeah.
It's
But there's something there that's like slightly sweet, but just kind of, I don't know.
well, I'll be honest with you. All right. I've not even had my morning coffee yet because Eric is on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So, I gotta
Yeah.
make some time difference here. So, I'm fresh off of brushing my teeth, folks. I'm sorry. That's just the way it works. That's okay. I'm a professional. I do that.
Yeah.
Now, so usually the first pass, I've not had any alcohol all morning.
Yeah.
So my first pass is always, I don't normally make a discernment on my first pass.
Right.
I will agree with you though, midway through that, it got really sweet on the sides of my tongue, on the back of my tongue. I didn't
Yeah.
swallow any of it, and that's why I spit it out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do my second pass,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna give you my perspective and see
Yeah.
if maybe you agree. All right. So here
Yeah.
we go. Okay. Even when I spit it out, it gets even sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
My I agree with everything you said. There's hardly any lip and gum numbness. I mean, I've held it. Um, it coats the palate almost as if it's got. I'm thinking it might have some agave nectar in it
Maybe.
to sweeten
Maybe.
it. Because I know
Yeah.
that there are other tequilas out there that actually do that. Like Suavecito Tequila is known to do that. And it
Mm-hmm.
brings it down to just below. They bring it into 36, 38 ABV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's actually quite decent. It's very
Yeah.
well done because the the main juice that they're using comes from the Orendine family.
Mm-hmm.
So with this one, I'm not. Do we have a distillery name and number? I didn't have a chance to pick that out because I just
You said 14.99,
yeah,
I think.
14.99 and small batch production liqueur made with 100% agave tequila blanco, product of Mexico. It's not giving us what they're using as a sweetener.
Well, they don't have to. So
No,
that's
no, but it is sweeter. Uh,
Yeah.
on the finish, like you said.
Yeah.
I dumped it. I didn't
So
even
it's
swallow any of it.
Casa Tequilera de Arandas.
See, they're starting with an Arandas tequila. That
Yeah.
should give it enough character, which it does. It's got enough
Yeah.
nose on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that I mean the reason why you might be right about the agave syrup. The reason why I went to that like Splenda kind of range of
Right,
things or
right.
whatever is because they're very conscious about keeping the calorie count low. So that makes me think that it's this like non-caloric sweetener that they use for things where I would assume agave syrup has some sort of caloric
Well,
value.
isn't syrup and nectar two different things? Because syrup is a whole different animal from nectar, correct?
Yeah, I think there's like a fine distinction that is lost on most people, on like outside of like the sellers. So
Or the
I
micro
think,
distillers who use stuff like that.
yeah, I think in like the common parlance, those terms are interchangeable, but there's sometimes a distinction, which I don't remember. But but I would imagine it have some caloric value to it because it's essentially the hydrolyzed sugars that the
Right,
fructose
right,
that
right.
comes, and fruit has calories when you eat
Ah,
fructose. So anyway, that's why I suggested that maybe there's that artificial like sugar or whatever you call it component there. Again, like the flavor, definitely like lime forward,
yes.
some agave character, and then just kind of like goes into generalized sweetness, and it really hangs on the palate.
On the palate. And I did
Yeah.
notice that. Now we didn't even look at the legs and tears on this thing at the beginning. It's not, Eric, it's not as crystal clear as I thought it would be. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And legs and tears are it's sheeting right off. I mean, I'm not getting a lot of clinginess to the glass. So
Right.
so that means, probably not
But
any
that's
glittering.
indicative of the lower ABV too. So,
Okay. Okay.
but and yeah, and I don't know how like how viscous that if it is a Splenda type sugar, I don't know how viscous that stuff gets in solution
Probably not
like
a whole
regular.
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the legs and tears are slim to none. I mean,
Yeah.
it just sheets right off. So it's rather,
So
and it is rather thin, but there's a reason why it clings to the palate, and we can't figure that out other than, like I say, agave nectar. That would be
yeah.
my answer.
So this is my guess that really, so the marketing for this product is for people who want like tequila soda, they want a skinny margarita, they want, like a low calorie ranch water kind of drink. Because I think the flavor of this is strong enough that like if you did tequila and soda with this, like it's going to come through. You're still going to have that lime flavor,
Mhm.
but now you've diluted it, so you got 77 calories over this like 12-ounce drink. Um, and so I to me I get that's where I think it's really positioning itself. Um, and and for that regard, yeah, I could see people who are in that vein, who are like calorie conscious, who like kind of generally like the flavor of tequila, but they want, something a little bit different. Like I could see people going for this. My sister-in-law, maybe. She likes to, she's very conscious of her figure. And so I could see her
Why
if
don't you
this was
introduce
an
me to your sister-in-law? No, never mind.
if she was very, if this was an option to have basically a like full flavor, lower ABV spirit that gave her the same result in her like margarita or ranch water or just tequila and soda, I could see her really enjoying that. So that's where I think this is really aimed for. And in that regard, that market, sure.
So in your estimation, would this be a brand of promise in that category, in the liqueur category? Or can it be
Well,
better? Can it be what they've done in essence, what they've done is they've created a niche within the niche of
Yeah.
liqueur, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like that's the thing. This is not a traditional like tequila liqueur. And so in that regard, it's like, okay, not quite. And it is a bit one-dimensional, but like I said, for the market that they're going for, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Hmm.
So it's like, I think it's fine as it is. I think it's a good product for what it is, but it's in this weird kind of category of its own that, so I don't know what you would put it as, but
Well, we'd have to give it its own category. I mean,
yeah.
you really
So
couldn't if we came in with a if by the end of the year 2024 we get another tequila liqueur. You
right.
know,
In
I'd
that
say,
regard, yeah, you could put those together, or I think this sits as like a tequila specialty.
yeah, yeah,
And
like a tequila novelty or something like that.
yeah,
And for that reason, I think it should be a brand of promise. But you're right.
yeah,
If I got another tequila liqueur, it'd be like a mezcal. You know how I categorize the mezcals. If it's not from the same region, and sometimes the
right,
mezcals are a different ABV, could be the same
right,
plant. Could be Espadín from
right.
Oaxaca and Espadín from uh,
Durango or
yeah, Durango or
somewhere.
something, and then the ABVs are different. I can't make them compete.
Hmm.
You can't do it because it's just unfair. The
Yeah,
region will be different, the terroir will be different. And
yeah.
so I would have to put this in a, you're right, it'd have to give it a specialty category that because other tequila liqueurs are just not gonna mash. It's just not,
Yeah,
it won't be fair.
traditionally they go heavy on the sugar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know,
like
because
think about like Patron Citron or something, whatever that
yeah,
is,
yeah.
right? That is sweet,
No kidding.
or is it like tequila and chocolate liqueurs mixed
Yes.
together? That those are
There's a
sweet.
whole line of Pocheteca, and they make cream liqueurs, and they make
Yeah, yeah. So
and it's
that's why I would call this more tequila specialty. They just had to put liqueur, I think, to fit somewhere
yeah,
for the legal standards. But in that regard, I agree. I think for what it is, brand eponymous nominee.
yeah, I think so too. I mean, and the marketing's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do we have a price point for this thing? I mean, what are they charging for something like that?
I might
Well,
have seen it at some point. I don't remember.
because you know, with all the bottle is substantial, the packaging is heavy. It can't be that cheap. I mean, you know, if they're competing with regular tequilas, I'm not too. I mean, it's a nice label. It's raised. It's very tactile. You know.
So Reserve Bar has it for $70.
Yikes!
Yeah. But
Yikes!
again, this is the market that they're going for. They're going for
70
that.
bucks?
They're going for that market that's super calorie conscious.
Wow.
They don't care that it's low ABV. That's what they're concerned about is the calorie count. And again, my
Yeah, but
sister-in-law
I
kind of
mean,
falls into that category
77
where,
calories versus 100 calories. I'd rather have 100 calories and some full flavor without that residue, residual
yeah,
sweetness
well,
on my palate.
yeah. I mean, I would say it's sort of similar in that how like what's that tequila in the ceramic bottle
Oh,
that,
yeah, Clase Azul.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
those are pretty sweet, and
Yeah,
people love them.
yeah, but they're all
So,
diffuser. We know that, you know.
well, yeah, but there's something there with the sweetness probably. So all I'm saying is people like sweetness. They're willing to pay a lot of money for stuff that's just happens to be sweet.
Yeah. Well,
So,
as I recall, when they sent that to us, it's been a few months, folks. I'm sorry.
yeah.
They sent some swag with it too. Didn't they send a beach bag and
Yeah.
stuff like that with
Yeah,
it?
there
It
was
was really
a there
nice.
was a nice like hemp, not hemp, sort of like what's that material? It's like a woven material, kind of these like coffee
I
bags
know. Yeah,
made
yeah. It's
out
like
of
burlap. It's burlap.
burlap. Yeah, like a
Yeah, yeah.
burlap bag that had this lining in it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really nice. There was like a kind of a towel. It was bigger than a hand towel and smaller than a beach towel. So it was
Yeah.
kind of
So
an
it's
odd
like
size,
too
but
big
it's
for your
really
bottle.
nice. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like for a picnic, that kind of size.
Yeah.
So really nice, yeah, really nice stuff. Um,
I
but
guess
yeah,
in for those people who are having RTDs, right? We were talking about RTDs off camera,
Yeah.
actually Eric likes RTDs, which is great because I'm gonna probably toss him a whole bunch this year.
Yeah.
But for in lieu of an RTD, but like you said, a skinny margarita, a light ranch water,
Yeah.
I think because of the back end sweetness, I might even throw a pinch of salt, but then that
Yeah.
might spike your hypertension. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I would try to even it out a little bit because I think once you swallow it, it's a little bit more on the sweeter end. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's not a value tequila, that's for sure,
No.
but it is a brand of promise in
Yeah.
its own niche and category. That's our take, folks, on Punta Santos. Now, was it named after? Is there a resort called that, by the way? I
I
can't. I
don't
don't
know.
know. It sounds like a resort. I mean, it's got a resort look to it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
but if you folks who are watching us on YouTube on our YouTube channel, if you've had it, what are you doing with it? Are you mixing it? Are you just sipping it straight? What are you
Yeah.
doing with it? You're taking it to the beach with you because you can't, uh, at least not in the
Right.
West Coast.
Not in the glass.
Yeah, not in a glass. It's gonna have to go in a flask or something. I don't know. But that's our take. If you folks have had it, please tell us what you're doing with it. Leave us a comment. Give us a like if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us on the podcast, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like. And as we like to say, it's been a while since I've said it, but as we like to say, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.
Okay. Here we go, Alex. Have a good time with that. Jeez.